sir. Thank you for
Good
coming
morning,
to
good
our
morning, good
session.
evening.
A warm welcome to day 3 of our 1 week faculty development program on integrating ancient wisdom with emerging technologies. We hope you all are gaining valuable insights from this FTP. Yesterday's session was on management lessons from Sundarkand, highlighting timeless leadership principles. Today, we'll be shifting our focus to innovation with the topic autonomous innovation in India. It is our pleasure to introduce our esteemed resource person, Dr. Manas Kumar Mandal, a distinguished scientist and a former Director General, Life Sciences, DRDO, and a currently distinguished visiting professor at IIT Kharagpur. He is also a Fulbright Fellow, USA Fulbright Bright Nehru Fellow, and NSERC Fellow, Canada, Shastri Fellow, Canada, and DAD Fellow, Germany. His outstanding contribution to research and innovation has earned him global recognition. We are honored to have him with us today and look forward for the insightful session. Without further ado, let's invite Mr. Dr. Manas Kumar Mandal to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just in case the audibility is poor or there is something wrong, let me know so that I can stop and start again. Okay. So before I
Certainly.
begin, let me see whether my slides can be shared or not. Could you see my slides? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Can someone tell me?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. And everybody can listen to me as well, huh? Someone has to let me know actually whether it is
Yes,
clearly
sir. Yes,
audible
sir.
or
Yes,
not.
sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay, okay. Okay, so let me start. My interest is to talk to you about innovation that is taking place in this country. Instead of going through some of our ancient literature, I thought I'd first let you know what is happening in contemporary India, what kind of innovations are going on, and how we understand the concept of innovation. Because this is very important in the sense a lot of people make confusion amongst innovation, invention, creativity, intelligence. I mean, people fail to understand what are the subtle differences among these concepts. But those concepts are more theory oriented, bookish. I'm not interested much into go about those confusions. Of course, I'll let you know in the beginning that how they are different from each other and how we can develop some clarity about what innovation is all about. And then, of course, we'll move to social innovation, which is taking place in this country, not known to many. That's what is my point of telling. So, my overall idea is to tell you that we look outside the country in order to understand how innovations take place. Very few of us actually look within what is happening within us, and why do we fail to convert those innovations into some practical usage, and how these innovations become obsolete over a period of time because innovations don't stop at a particular place. And you are being a technology institute, and most of you are faculties. I don't have to tell you these things that every new technology brings new forms of obsolescence. new forms of ignorance. So unless the innovations are converted into some practical value, implementable value, the innovations will actually go away. So with that note, I'll start my talk with social innovation, which I think is very important because the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations, has got certain goals, goal 8 and 9 and 11, which actually are related to social innovation. And my idea is to give you more thrust and impetus towards those viewpoints because they give us a better work. With that note, I'll first tell you about why I'm talking about it. Let me talk a little bit about myself. I'm a cognitive scientist. I work mostly in the functional architecture of the brain, and most of my research are lab-based. I hardly had gone to field researches, but in my overall career, I'm teaching for the last 46 years. I mean, I started my career as an assistant professor, or those days it used to be called as lecturer, in 1981 in Banaras Hill University. So I taught about 15 years in Banaras Hill University, 15 years in IIT system, and 15 years in R&D system, which is DRDO. Of course, in DRDO, my major job was to function as a military psychologist and to make sure that our soldiers are fighting fit against all odds. So in those 45 or 46 years, I have seen innovations, how it is taking place in different systems. IIT system or institutional system is a different system from university system where innovations are taking place. And university system is different from R&D system. If you are studying engineering or management, I think you have to first appreciate the fact that all these three systems have got three different goals in academia. The university system primarily deals with no knowledge to new knowledge and new knowledge to theory building. That's the university system. And at best from theory building to principles of application. When you come to the institutional system like IIT, IIIT, or IITM, your NIT, they go, they move up a little further. That is from principles of application to discovery of solution, and discovery of solution to translation. That's what the IIT system or institutional system was. And when you come to R&D system, it is just not about translation. It is from translation to production and production to end user integration. So these are three different agencies who are actually looking for innovation. University system, I repeat, is looking for innovation, which is no knowledge to new knowledge is innovation. New knowledge to theory building is also innovation. And theory building to principles of application is also a form of innovation. When you come to, as I said, institutional system, it starts its journey from principles of application to discovery of solution. They just don't stop with the principles of identification of principles of application. They actually discover some solution, and that solution comes in the form of some kind of translation. That is, the translation comes in the form of a prototype of a particular product or process. But that prototype is mostly at a tabletop level. That is a small miniature tabletop prototype. But that doesn't function ultimately to the highest form of innovation. In order to go for the highest form of innovation, you have to go from translation to production. So production is done by industry, and the industry or the R&D institutions, their major job is to make sure that the prototype are built in such a manner that they become a production-ready prototype. Unless they are production-ready prototype, industry will not take that. And after the industry produces it, they try to understand whether it has got an user at the end or not, which we call end user integration. So actually innovation is taking place all these levels in the country. Question is, where do you lie? That's what is the question that I wanted to put forward. But let me tell you first, what makes me interested in talking you about this innovation. Because, as I said, in the first 15 years, I worked mostly in the laboratory and I remained in the Banaras Hindu University. But then, after some period in IIT, I moved to R&D, which is DRDO. In DRDO, I had the opportunity to visit from the entire bordering areas, because wherever our soldiers are posted, I had to visit them because I was the Director General of DRDO. So right from Kashmir to Tawang, I had an opportunity to visit the entire bordering region in sub-Himalayan terrain, about 3,500 kilometers, very repeatedly. And I have noticed how people have been actually innovating in a day-to-day life. So in extreme cold conditions, because in Leh, Ladakh, I experienced minus 10 degree, minus 20 degree the glaciers. I have witnessed how people have been surviving very effectively with high degree of innovative thoughts, because otherwise they will not survive, because we cannot give them all the survival kits in such conditions. So they survive on their own and they innovate on everyday basis. My interest is to talk about those kind of innovations which actually will help us understand how in this country innovations are taking place. So I got inspiration from many social enterprises which are being built within the country. They may not be very relevant abroad. Look, right now I am in Canada. I keep visiting abroad because I taught in several foreign universities. I keep visiting. At this point of time, it is night time in Canada, 12 and a half hours of difference. And I find that a lot of social enterprises are taking place here also, but they are entirely different from our kind of enterprises and our kind of startup initiatives. So what is that our kind and why do we falter is also something I would like to talk to you. And then I would finally talk about the grassroots innovations in India. And that grassroots innovations, in order to understand, you have to understand what is called autonomous innovation or social innovations. Social innovations are also called autonomous innovations. That is, my experience in lab-based innovation at IIT and research and development in DRDO actually helped me develop this talk for the benefit of all those who are interested in knowing what is happening in extreme terrain, difficult terrain, how people survive, and whenever there is a difficulty, how people come out with a solution. So with that note, I'll go to the next section where I'll talk to you about several misconceptions about innovations. Because this is important for all of us to understand. Because unless we understand how it is being, misperceived, misconceived, we would probably not be able to understand that what innovation is all about. That is, most of us are aware of these kind of innovations. That is Elon Musk, Tesla car, or Steve Jobs, iPhone, or 3D printing. They're all innovations. They are very high level of innovations. My point is to tell you that this is innovation of one kind, which does not encompass the overall gamut or the picture about innovations that we understand in real life. So one of the misconceptions is that we believe that probably innovation means high tech or breakthrough product. Mostly these high tech or breakthrough products are more narrative. Like if you talk about Sir Isaac Newton's apple, falling down of apple from the trees, or Archimedes' bathtub. They're all innovations of very high kind. But in order to come out to the practical life or understand innovations in reality, we must understand that those innovations have got a lot of meaning in terms of our formal knowledge. But in reality, how innovation works, that needs to be understood slightly differently from away from the books. We believe that probably it requires a genius flash of insight. It's a eureka moment. That's something which has come to you as an insight and you suddenly get it. Nothing like that. My 46 years of teaching, I must have taught over 15 lakhs students. I've seen in IIT system, in R&D system, in university system, a lot of geniuses. But the question is, many of them are actually innovative. I'm not innovative, but many of my students are very innovative. And I found that the flash of the flash bulb insight or the eureka moment is the tip of the iceberg. People have to, work very hard. They fail several times in their lifetime before they actually get this flash of insight. So it's just not a momentary thought. It's actually a lot of hard work before actually such kind of product comes up. We also believe that probably innovators are gifted people who rarely fail. Not that, probably. I have never seen an innovator who never fails. I mean, failure is something which is not orthogonal to success. We always see success. But behind every success, there are a lot of failures. People fail to notice failures, which is actually the building block for all kinds of innovations. We also believe that only young mind can be innovative. Or some people are creative type. They only can innovate. Honestly speaking, I'll tell you in the next slide, innovation and intelligence are two different things. Intelligence, of course, I'll tell you in the next slide so I can skip right away. What I wanted to tell you, the last point in this slide, is about innovation is not a pure magic, actually. It's not a pure magic. It's hard work. It's reality bite. I mean, none of these innovations have come up with a eureka moment. None of these things have come up like what we have understood as Newton's falling apples from the tree. So the misconceptions must be kept in our mind that what do we actually mean innovation? And in order to do that, I'll tell you some more confusion which may come up to all of our mind. More such are like coming up in the next slide, but let me quickly first operationally define what do I mean by innovative thinking. Innovative thinking is the ability to translate ideas into practical and value-creating solutions. Now, practical and value-creating solutions are very important. You may have invented something, innovated something, but if that innovation has got no practical value, we'll not call it as innovation. That is not part of the definition. Part of the definition is that you not only identify the principles of application, from principles of application to discovery of solution, not from discovery of solution to translation, not just from translation to production, not just production from production to end user integration. Unless it comes to end user integration, unless it is creating a value creating solutions, it cannot be called as innovations. It can be of three types. I mean, if you can build no knowledge to new knowledge, it's innovation. As I said in the first, in the beginning, no knowledge to new knowledge. That is one kind of innovation. The other kind of innovation is that there is an existing knowledge and you are challenging that existing knowledge, which brings a new forms of application. So the same product, same process, which is known to everybody, but you are making use of in a different manner. Like, as I understand, aspirin, probably people talk about it's a painkiller. But later on, by innovation, we understand that the same aspirin can check our heart disease as well, heart blockage as well. So it's a new form of application, which is also called a form of innovation, because it has got a value creating solution. And finally, the innovation is also possible that probably it is not creating any value, I mean, with a new form of application, but it has a surprise element in delivering existing knowledge. Whatever knowledge that we have, if we can deliver with a surprise element, which is different from what we know, it's also called innovation. So the what we are talking about is that innovation is something which is just not about creating something. It often runs on different mental machinery than formal literacy. A lot of persons believe that if you have got a very high degree, probably better degree, you have done PhD, you have done this, you have done that, probably you are more innovative. Formal literacy is one part of it. In fact, many of us often say that formal literacy kills our innovative property, formal literacy. I mean, lot of innovative people do not have enough intelligence even. This is what I wanted to mean to you. It works on a different machinery. So by having formal literacy, we can think different things. But with a good mental machinery, we can think differently. So thinking differently and thinking different things are two different things. That's what I wanted to mean. So it is not about just formal education. Let us try to understand what do we mean by innovation versus intelligence. Intelligence is a different mental setup, is a different mental process, and I mean, intelligence and innovation, they actually are somewhat related, but not fully related. Intelligence is all about your speed, your ability to process information. It's all about your raw material. But having raw material does not mean that you would be able to create a finished product. So innovation creates a finished product, whereas intelligence is more about a raw material. Likewise, a lot of people use the word intuition. Intuition is a search engine, like Google search engine is a mental search engine. You intuitively keep thinking because there is no point in your lifetime when you don't think. Even in dream, you keep thinking. That's why you get to see the dreams. So it's a subconscious process which keep on going on in intuition, and suddenly it pops up with a eureka moment, which is conscious, which is a decision tool. So innovation is more a search engine. Sorry, intuition is more a search engine. Innovation is more a decision tool. So let us not confuse between innovation and intuition. Likewise, people also confuse between innovations and invention. Invention is creating something new. That's about having a surprise element, a new element, a new process, a new product. But unless that new element or new product is made to practical use, it cannot be innovation. So as I said, every day technology develops, but the skill development and the technology development, they don't go at par. Technology develops every day, but human mind does not develop every day. So technology development and human skill development, there is always a difference. And if we do not match it, either the technology would be obsolete or the human mind would be obsolete. So the question is, when we talk about invention, with our mental machinery, we can create something new, but if it is of no practical use, we'll not call it as innovation. So innovation is all about how to make it in a practical use. And finally, in this slide, about scientific versus social innovation. So we all are in an academic environment. And in an academic environment, everything happens in a top-down manner, which is called expertise-based innovation. That people have got certain expertise, domain expertise, and based on that domain expertise, we actually innovate. But there are many innovations in this country which are taking place that we call as non-expert based system. That is, people have got no formal knowledge. People do not have enough intelligence, but they keep innovating every day. My interest in the following slides would be talking about those kinds of innovations. So with that note, I'll talk to you about two innovation models that we see in the country. One innovation, which we call as expert-based innovation, is a scientific innovation. Scientific innovation is done with competent people, with relevant technology. That is, in our laboratories, in the institutions, or in the university system, there are supervisors. You are all faculty, so you are all competent in your own domain areas. So you have all your students. The students have the controlled access to knowledge and high quality infrastructure. There are favorable economics and risk capital, means fellowship, scholarship people are getting, which I call as scientific expert-based innovation. So after, when people do PhD, when people do master's thesis, if they innovate something, we'll call it as a scientific expert-based innovation. But there is some kind of innovation, like, as I said, this is called scientific innovation. But there is some kind of innovation where people do not have competency, people do not have knowledge, people do not have technology, people do not have controlled access of knowledge, yet they are making innovations. So you see that in both cases, one, the scientific expert-based innovation, how we are actually harnessing solar energy through engineered process, is a scientific expert-based system. But look at this farmer. This farmer has got no knowledge. This farmer has got no technology. This farmer has got no risk capital. And he has a mobile phone with him. How does he put the mobile phone in charge? So he carries a solar panel at his back. So that's one kind of innovation I'm talking about, which is social innovation. People innovate by themselves. So it's a bottom-up innovation. That is, it's an innovation which comes through an inductive process. Inductive process means where a solution of a problem is not inherent within the problem. I mean, there is no electricity in the village, but the villagers have got mobile phone at hand. How do they make use of it when the charge goes off? So they come out with some solution which is not inherent in the system. So they bring some kind of solar panel, put it at their back, keep on doing the agricultural job, and get their mobile phone charged. So it's an inductive process, whereas scientific and expert-based innovation is a deductive process. That is, the solutions of a problem is inherent within the problem. That's a deductive process. But in social innovation, it's an inductive process, and it's an iterative process. Iterative process means it's a non-expert based system where people go on trial and error and come out with a solution. And these kind of innovations are very indigenous in nature, because you will not find this kind of innovation abroad. These are inexpensive, which is affordable, and these are intuitive, which is good enough solution. They are not interested in publishing a paper. They're not interested in, meeting the parameters of developing a technology. But they come out with a solution. And that solution may not be enough for going into the market, but it is good enough solution for themselves. We call them as social or non-expert based innovation. With that note, I'll come to you with some ideas what social innovation is all about. Now, social innovation or autonomous innovation is something which might not be perfect, but people will find some kind of solution out of it. So it's a solution that bends scientific rule into their favor. It's an intuitive thinking that maximizes resources. By maximizing resources means whatever little resources they have around themselves, they make use of it in such a manner that their jobs can be done and their problems could be, solved. Generally, jokingly, we call it jugaad. But jugaad it also has got a lot of potentialities. Lot of potentialities. In fact, a lot of good books are coming up on jugaad technologies. They are very flexible. They are not fixed technology. They are very frugal and instinct-driven solutions. Many of these solutions are coming up uh, through instincts. That is, people do not have enough knowledge, but they feel that intuitively there could be some solution behind this program. So they do it. It promotes sustainability. It brings a lot of autonomy and delivers more and more value at lower cost, which we call less is more, which we call less is more. So this is what I call as social innovation. You see the photograph. Earlier, what really used to happen in difficult terrains like in Madhya Pradesh or in Rajasthan, people used to go long distance in order to fetch 10 liters or 20 liters of water. I mean, today, what happens? People have come out with some autonomous solutions, social innovations. They created water wheels. And in water wheels, actually, they can bring at least 100 liters of water. Not only that, when the village woman does this, carries 100 liters of water, they even carry and cradle their children backhand because this is so easy to do. So you see, earlier to carry 20-25 liters of water, and they are carrying 100 liters of water while easily rolling it on ground. Along with having their children back in their cradle. So these are all innovations. Now I am interested in talking to you about these innovations. You see, this is I don't know whether you are aware of it or not. This is called Live Route Bridge in Meghalaya. This has become a tourist point even. In Meghalaya and Cherrapunji, there are a lot of rains, there are a lot of nalas, there are a lot of rivers. And people find it very difficult to cross them over. And it's not possible for everyone or the government, local government, to create bridges everywhere, every here and there. So villagers have come up with a solution for themselves. They found that the live root of rubber tree actually is strong enough to carry even a car. So they created a two-tier bridges everywhere in Meghalaya and Cherrapunji, which is, I request people to stop their microphone. Yeah, a lot of noise coming up actually.
Subhadra ma'am, if you can mute your mic, please.
Okay. So you see, now this is a social innovation. And this innovation is so important that even UNESCO has recognized it. UNESCO has recognized this social innovation, which is now going in the large scale. You see, this man is actually preparing his food and using this team for getting coffee for their customers. These are small innovations, as if these innovations are of not a great scientific value or worth, but it is serving our purpose. Our major problem is that these social innovations, we are not in a position to scale it up. Like the water wheel that you see, the Canadian government now has come up with a grand wheel project where they are actually funding these water wheels for everybody in the villages. So our problem is that, first of all, we fail to identify that this is a good innovation. It serves, much more than with very little money. And our engineers, our technologists, our people feel that they are very filthy, small time innovations which are of no use. Therefore, my point to all of you is that you being in the engineering institute, technology institute, understand the value behind this jugaad, so-called jugaad technology, and how you can harness the strength in the country. Now, the social design, I'll give you more examples. Some of the good entrepreneurs have come up to take up this kind of innovations. And let me give you some examples. One such example is the life-saving dot. I don't know whether you are aware of it or not. The village women, they have got a lot of iodine deficiency. And due to iodine deficiency, the medical burden has become very high in certain areas of the country. Government used to give iodine tablets to everybody free of cost. But mothers fail to make use of it because they often forget while they do their domestic work. So the purpose gets defeated of giving them iodine tablets. So people come up in ICMR with some innovative ideas. They thought that if they can create an iodine patch in the form of a bindi, any married woman will wear that bindi, and that will give in 8 hours the necessary iodine which is to be given within the system. So it's an innovative process. Through that innovation, a lot of lives are being saved. A lot of medical expenditures could be actually arrested. Likewise, the Janma Clean Birth Kit. A lot of entrepreneurs have come up with this kit. This kit cost only 100 rupees. Just check your internet, cost only 100 rupees. So people who cannot afford a hospital setup or a nursing home, they can actually go for it. And a lot of entrepreneurs have come up with such ideas. So ideas like creating sanitary towel, ideas like creating, hand and foot prosthesis, which is Jaipur foot. You must know that 3 years back, the Jaipur Food Group actually got the Padma Shri Award as well for their innovative ideas and making use of it for the public at large. So I can make a great scientific, job through my thesis, but does it really work to the public at large? Many cases in my lifetime, I must have examined more than 100 PhD theses. Almost 99% of them, they remain in the library or in the stack. How many people make use of those information into deliverable knowledge? At best, we come out with some kind of publications, because publication has become mandatory for growth. So a lot of people are interested in having publications. Question is, people are not interested in getting patents. People are not interested in seeing that these patents also find some kind of market. And to get it into the market, you have to develop a production-ready prototype, and through that only we can go for end-user integration. I can give you more examples, like smokeless oven. It has brought a sensation everywhere. Started with Kerala, brought a sensation. I'm not sure whether you know about the story of biotoilet or not, because in one of my laboratory, this biotoilet was created. You know, the biotoilet is a system where the human fecal material is converted into a near potable water without any sting for making further use of it for different reasons. Now, Indian Railway, has actually taken this technology. You must have noticed today, no railway station is having that kind of soils in the platform, because every coach has utilized this technology. over 72,000 coaches are being fitted with biotoilet. You know how this concept has come up? The concept has come up, some of our scientists have gone to Antarctica and they noticed that the penguin's fecal material is getting dissolved in 3 days, even in minus 70-degree temperature. So they brought that bacteria and through anaerobic digestion process, they came up with a cocktail, and that cocktail is being used for biotoilet. So today, everywhere, in every 10, every coaches and many colonies in Delhi even, where I used to be there, are converted into a biotoilet. And through that biotoilet, you don't require a septic tank. And not only that, through the biotoilet, people are also generating methane gas. And through that methane gas, they are producing electricity and running some of the generators. The question is, the photograph that you see, it started with the Siachen Glacier, where our soldiers are posted, lakhs of soldiers are posted. And we found that if so many soldiers are posted in that areas, their fecal material will not get dissolved. Now, the problem is that when they drink water, they have to actually melt that snow only, which is contaminated by their own soils. And they are finding it difficult to actually consume it. So the demand came up, how can we give them a contamination-free water? So biodigesters were created for that particular reason. And today in Siachen glaciers, those biotoilets are actually, stationed. And it has made great, changes in the life of a soldier. So the ferries in Kerala are being run on solar panel. I'm sure you are aware of Tree Climber. The Tree Climber is a system through which people can actually use some form of protected gear to climb on the top. I'm giving repeatedly the examples of Kerala because this girl actually innovated this Tree Climber. And there is little chance that a person will fall down and lose their limbs or their life. Today, some industry has come up with this tree climber, which is motorized. It can straight away go up in the coconut tree, and people can get those coconuts out of that. So these are innovations which we are bringing beyond limitations. They may not come in the publication. They may not come in some kind of patent probably, but they are making a lot of changes. They are making a lot of critical changes in the lives of the people. So with all that note, I can give you more and more example because I stayed in those areas in Himalayas where Sibakthorn, for example, is a kind of berry. We get it in minus 40 degree. And this is very rich in vitamin C. So the industry has come up with the Sibakthorn in the Leh Ladakh area where these Sibakthorn juices are used for survival. And why this question has come up? Sibakthorn is a kind of berry which actually remains in this system within 15 days, for 2 weeks. After that, it gets spoiled. So you have to pick it up within 15 days. And picking up Sibakthorn is also very difficult because they are very prickly, thorny trees. So villagers have come up with the idea that how in 15 days we can get all the Sibakthorn in the local areas. So they use a vibrator at the bottom of the tree and made sure that all the Sibakthorn berries they are interested in, they get it at the bottom of it. So in a day or two, they can get all these Sibakthorns. Like drinking water. When our soldiers go in the difficult terrains, they can't carry anything more than 23 kilo. So if they have to go for 3 or 4 days, how much water they can carry? They can't carry more water, at best a liter or so, because 23 kilo is the maximum they can carry. Now people have come up with the idea of straw-based filter. The straw-based filter is of no use in the market, but for a great help to the soldiers, because a straw-based filter weighs only 5 grams. So one soldier can carry at least 100 such straws and drink water from any source. And through that process, we reduce their load and we also make sure that they are safe. See, the snow agriculture. The snow agriculture is also a very important kind of innovation. In Leh Ladakh area, where I used to go, I found that a lot of people are doing trench agriculture. Trench agriculture means nothing grows in Leh Ladakh because it's a cold arid region. Nothing grows there because there is no heat on the surface. Everything is at a -degree temperature. So villagers have come up with the idea that if they can dig 10 to 12 feet and do some kind of agriculture, the heat can be conserved at a level of plus 10 degree or 12 degree. So during daytime, they cover the entire trench with a white polythene, and during night, they cover it with a black polythene so that the heat is not escaped. And through that process, we found that the produce like tomato or tomato. Let me give you an example of tomato. 20 years back, tomato used to cost around 100 rupees a kilo. 20 years back, I'm talking about, because all those tomatoes used to be transported from Chandigarh to Leh. Today, it is 10 rupees a kilo because people have come out with a solution. And the solution is trench technology, that is snow agriculture. In trench, they are doing, because they are getting heat down the surface and using simple polythenes, white polythenes and black polythenes, in order to do and grow such kind of produce. So there are a lot of such examples. Waste management with waste plastics, mitti pool. Mansukh Bhai Prajapati got award from the president also. It's a terracotta-based refrigerator which does not require any electricity and keeps things frozen as it is in the electrical fridge for 7 to 8 days without difficulty. But we find it very difficult to make use of these technologies scalable. And I'll come to those points in the next. Why do we fail to make use of such sustainable changes? You see, we make a lot of such produces, like we don't require an electric cooling system. People have come up with the beehive inspired terracotta cooling system. People have come up with the banana leaf based textile. People have come up with the bamboo furniture. This has got a great commercial value. Fly ash reinforced building. Question is, they are all fire protected building because they are fly ash reinforced building. No, these technologies are not finding market. Why? Because these are very innovative ideas, but these innovative ideas are mostly one-hit success story, one-hit victory story. They're not sustainable. Now, the sustainability is something which we, the people who are actually doing top-down researches, that is from institute level to down the people level, they fail to join hand. They are mostly non-expendable model. Whatever you see, this beehive inspired terracotta, banana leaf based textile, they are non-expendable model. They are not scalable model. They are mostly partnership model and there is no top-down effort for this. So the point is, people who are in need, they only go for these kind of technologies. People who have got more choices, they would go for a so-called branded product. This is in economics we call as need versus want. So most of these technologies, innovations are failing over a period of time. Now, the challenges in such kind of social innovations are mostly mindset-based issue. It's not a mind issue. It's a mindset issue. We mostly want to do research and innovation, which is low risk and low gain. So if we only go for low risk and low gain innovation, we'll remain at this point of time. See this voice box by Dr. Vishal Rao. He has come up with the voice prosthesis that cost less than $1. That is about 70, 80 rupees. And it helps throat cancer patients to regain their ability to speak. Just imagine. It costs less than $1. That is, it costs about 60, 70 rupees. And he is not finding market for it. A lot of people are there for throat cancer. Like the Perela Manasa Reddy is a civil engineer. He came up with the idea that, well, how I can bring a low cost housing solution. So large sewage pipes are being converted into. I'm right now in Canada, and I see a lot of such houses are in Canada, close to the river or in the sea. People go for camping, and in those sewage pipes, there are 2 beds, there is a dining table, there is a washroom, everything is there in a very compact manner. And they are very, you go and hire them. It costs $15 a day, and you can stay with that. It's a very good solution. So people are having innovations in mind. People can solve problems, but we fail to bring it to the notice of people at large, and we fail to get a market for that. So the question is, if we have to earn value, growth, and impact, all 3, it's difficult to go at one go. Very difficult. Because to create value, to have growth, to have impact in the community, it requires a concerted effort. It requires a top-down effort and a bottom-up effort. Unless we do this, it's difficult to achieve. So the impact that we get from such kind of innovations are very difficult to measure. We can't quantify them. It serves the purpose of a given community, but that's all. They're not scalable products. And in order to make it scalable, the engineers have to come up and join hands and see that how such innovations can actually help people at large. Now, I'll show you one. I don't know whether it will work or not. I'll try to make use of. Just see this video.
So we can't see the video.
Sir, if you can paste the link in the chat box, so we'll play it at our end, sir.
So the idea is that, well, to bring social change, you have to come up with social design, which is needed because replacing hand pump with the seesaw, which children would love to play. During tiffin hours in Anna Hazare school, the children actually play in the seesaw and also get the water. So the critical issues in most of the startups that we get is that we have brilliant mind, but we have got orthodox mindset. Our mindset is very orthodox. We have the ability to grow, but we are resistant to change. We have got excellent basic knowledge, but we have got poor applications. We have got good institutions, but we do not have corresponding industry for good institution. You may come up with a good prototype, but who is going to take that prototype into some kind of production? Because to get it produced, the industry will say that, well, I'll produce it, but you give me the order first. Who will give you the order? So before the production takes place, or production takes place, the industry will look for some kind of order. Unless they get it, they will not create a production line. And if the production line is not created, of course, that is not going to be fructified as a scalable product. So we have got skilled human capital, but we have got lack of risk capital. Also, it's a mindset problem. Whatever little we can still do that. You must have seen in this video. We have got excellent education system, but we do not have good innovation ecosystem. So innovation ecosystem is required today. My sincere appeal to all of you that we can all create a social Silicon Valley. A social Silicon Valley is not the kind of Silicon Valley that we see here in North America or in America. Let it be a field of practice than going only to the theory. Let me tell you, 90% of the theories that you read in the book are only based on the 10% of the human population in the world. Because most of the studies or demands were fulfilled based on those 10 or 15% population in the world, which are in USA or in Europe or in developed nations. So theory is one part of it, practice is altogether different. Knowledge is one part of it, skill is altogether different. So we can create that field of practice. So government has also decided to come up with professor of practice. So I'm actually taking interviews of a lot of such professors who want to join the university or IIT system as a professor of practice. Better adoption than out-of-box thinking. We have to go for, there are a lot of technologies which are already available. Why do we have to innovate every day some new technology? Or we have to go for out-of-box thinking. Let us make use of the available technology to the better use of the society at large. That's what is more important rather than going for a altogether new innovation. So strategic thinking is more important than outright success. That is, we have to think differently rather than thinking different things. We have to select the right project rather than getting the project right. In PhD, we get the project right, but do we select the right project? That's what is something which we need to understand. Let us have more better accelerators for our innovation rather than having only management gurus. There are a lot of management gurus in this country, but how many of them are actual accelerators? So we have to create social value than digital social Silicon Valley. So Silicon Valley is one part of it. They are, of course, making the world happier, more technology friendly. But how much they are creating social value, that's also a very important thing. Finally, in sum, my last slide is that social innovation works as a driver for happiness for all. Because if you want people to be happy, you have to create happiness for others. You can't be happy by yourself by chasing it. Happiness is neither a choice nor a compulsion. If you compel yourself to be happy, you can't be happy. If you think that you have got a choice to make happiness, you can't be happy because happiness is not a choice at all. A lot of people say that happiness is a choice. If happiness is a choice, why 90% of the people in this world are unhappy? It's not a choice. So neither it is a choice nor a compulsion. If you want to be happy, you have to create happiness for others. You have to see that your work has a shared quality for community growth. Unless it helps creating happiness for others, you can't get the kind of satisfaction you derive through developing a technology. So we must be able to bring power to fight poverty, help sustain health, and strength to the weak through our technologies. I mean, the photograph that you see is a girl from IIT Delhi. I mean, it's a great innovation where the handheld chair for the handicapped can even cross the stairs. You do not require a slide for going up and down. So it actually gives a lot of strength for the people who are handicapped otherwise. And it helps grow knowledge with a deliverable outcome. So with all those notes, I would like to stop here. Let me tell you, we need everybody's light. Unless we get everybody's light, this social innovation will be of no use. Thank you so much. And I hope you could get the idea what I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this enriching and inspiring session. It was a privilege to learn from your experiences, innovative thinking, and practical examples. We have certainly gained valuable takeaways from this session. We will now open the floor for a brief Q&A session for the question and answer session. If anyone has a question for Dr. Manas, please feel free to ask.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Very good morning, sir, and thank you very much, sir, for these beautiful terminologies. Actually, I'm from the management background, sir, and this social
Mhm.
innovation is very new for me. So my question from the slide, sir, is that is it mandatory for a scientific innovation to promote the social innovation? Like we have seen the examples of the pressure cooker, and we
Mhm.
also saw the examples of I've not mentioned here. Oh, yes, the straws for the waters. So,
Mhm.
what we can observe, or the water taking like machines kind of in the Rajasthan. So,
Mhm.
and the idea came in the mind. Thereafter,
Mhm.
social innovation idea came in mind, but to make it practical,
Mhm.
do we need a social innovation also to cater that
The
particular?
social innovation comes from certain kind of demands. I mean, and the water wheels has come up with the idea that, oh, a lot of people have been suffering, going long distance in order to fetch water, and that too they can get only 10, 15 liters of water back in their head or in back. So, in order to solve that problem, people started thinking collectively. It's just not one person's thought. It's a collective thought of the community which converts into a social innovation. The point I'm trying to make here that these are all bottom-up innovations. What the people who are in the top of the level, that is in the institutions or in the management or technology degrees, they can actually stabilize, sustain this technology in a scalable model. And not only scalability, this should have a commercial viability as well. Like the Mitty-Cool refrigerator, which is made of terracotta uh, uh, soil only, Mitty only. It has got excellent work actually, and you don't require any electricity. In fact, Dr. Kalam gave award this to this man, this Mansukh Bhai Prajapati, who actually developed this thing. The question is that Dr. Kalam gave this award 20 years back. It is still not in the market. So
Yes.
scalability, sustainability, for which we require, we need to join hand. So those who are actually getting degrees in the institutions, they must see where lies the problem. Instead of trying to always go for out-of-box thinking, let us see what are the available technologies which can be made use of in order to sustain the health and happiness of the community at large. So it is just not the job of the non-expert system. Expert system also has to come up for sustainability and scalability. It
Yes.
is it is just not solving a small time problem. It can actually create and solve problem for people at large. So the solution of seesaw that you saw in in the school, Anna Hazare school, is a small endeavor. Is a thought, and that thought is more important. That someone thought that can I do it in this way? Like the iodine bindi is a thought. It has got little to do with intelligence. In fact, this is a great misconception in this country that intelligence people can do everything. You take it from me after 46 years that intelligent people can do certain things. very well, but they are sub-average in many things. Only average people can do everything. So let us be proud of the average children. I teach in IIT Kharagpur. I know who are intelligent people. It's a great misconception that intelligent people can do everything. In fact, intelligent people have got several limitations, which we don't understand. We believe that intelligent people can do everything. And I have got I should not talk about myself. I taught in Harvard, I taught in Pennsylvania, I taught in Tokyo, I taught in Germany, I taught in UK, I taught in everywhere. I have seen what is called intelligence. I have seen how people innovate. Innovation is a thinking. It has got little to do with intelligence. As I said, intelligence is some kind of raw material. That's all. It is not a finished product by itself. Your thought is more important.
Yes.
So those who are at the expert system level, their thoughts are more important. They must see that if there is a problem existing and there is a solution already there, how we can sustain it, make it scalable, and how I can bring it to the level of end user integration point of view. So that is what I wanted to convey to all of you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, so we can say that partnership from the bottom up approach and industry partnership.
Top down approach.
Yeah, top down approach, and both the partnership at all level is required to scale up this
Yes.
Social innovation, sir. Sir,
Yes, and to sustain it.
Yes, sir. One last question, sir, if you allow, then.
Please.
Yes, sir. Sir, as you mentioned that the prototype must be the production ready. You mentioned this word. So many of the prototypes that the students are making in their project work, and how to make them, the idea is important. Whatever they have made has some viability, but at this level or the institutional level, because we are having the lack of funds and all. So what is the methods or what are the approaches to make these prototype production ready, sir?
It's actually not a very difficult job. When you come up with the idea and when you come up with a tabletop prototype, connect the industry. Meet with the startup people, those who already have got some venture capital. They will actually help your students to come up with a production ready prototype. And then one has to go for a commercial viability of that product. And then only the orders will come, and then only the industry will create a production line. And then only the cost will come down. So it's a long chain, actually. It's a long chain, but somewhere we have got to start. You see, in this country, because of this mindset issues, over 500 to 600 colleges are getting, are shutting down every year.
Yes.
Because we are producing only knowledge, no skill.
Yeah.
Knowledge and skill are two different things. Elon Musk says that I do not require any formal degree. आप हमें करके दिखाओ, आ जाओ मेरी कंपनी में, SpaceX में. So skill is more important. No, knowledge is also important, but not necessarily. Knowledge, if you have got knowledge, you will get skill also. So a mechanic is earning today much more than a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir, correct.
Why? Because a mechanic has a skill and a mechanical engineer has the knowledge. So we need to understand somewhere we have to go from top down to bottom up. Both the approaches. We have to go more to the field, see where lies the problem. And what technology, which is indigenous, inexpensive, iterative, inductive, can be utilized. So give them the projects, give them the problem. Not that every problem and solution should come from mobile phone applications only. All problems people are trying to fetch from mobile phone applications. That needs to be stopped. It's a mindset problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you, sir,
Thank
for
you.
Yeah.
thank you, sir, for patiently addressing our questions. Now, I would like to invite our respected director, ma'am, to kindly share a few words and deliver a vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, sir, from my side.
Good morning.
And
Good morning.
I have heard you in a conference in Delhi, and I was so impressed not only by your knowledge but by your humility. And today I am so happy that you have said that average people can do things better. So I think we have a scope, especially I have a lot of a scope. I feel now that having an average knowledge, I can do something. And so thank you so much for actually giving us that and let me do move forward to something that I don't possess much. So thank you so much, sir. And I was so impressed by you that I wanted my fellow colleagues to listen to you. I think they must have gained a lot today. And especially some of the examples that you gave, I never thought of, like straw filters. That was something credible. And I think with this small little efforts, if we can not scale much, but if we can address to the problem of some of the people, I think our job would be done. So thanks a lot, sir, for sparing time
Yes.
and the confusion that we created yesterday. I'm so sorry for that. And
No, that's not an issue.
thanks a
Actually,
lot.
it's at Victoria, it's a 12 and a half hours difference. Right now, it's middle of the night. But I thought since I spoke to you, I
I'm so
must
sorry.
be
I
able.
will not delay you for with more. And thanks a lot, sir. But we would like to
Thank you.
listen to you in person as well. So whenever you are in Delhi, we'll love to have you in our campus.
Sure.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you once again, sir, for your
Thank you.
invaluable time.
Thanks.
On this note, we are ending up our day 3 FTP and we'll be starting the day 4 FTP on Monday with Miss Pooja and we'll be learning about the patents and IPR. Thank you.
All the faculty members are requested to please be there on time and join. I should not be calling anybody from any campus for further delay. Even if you are in a training, you have heard the person today, and please ensure